Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Through these autumn and winter months, as the light draws in, having a decent flashlight is just as important as anything else in EDC. Olights recently got in touch and asked if I'd like to have a look at the Warrior 3S. Now this isn't a new light for them, this has been a staple for them for a while now, but it's a new light to me, and of course I said yes, I'd love to have a test. This has been a very well respected and it's definitely been a bit of a workhorse for them. I think as far as Olight collectors are concerned, it's one of the most popular lights that they have, which intrigued me. I wanted to know why it was important and why they liked it so much. I've had this for a while now, been testing this out. Of course, this is a point where we turn the camera around and we take a closer look. So here we have the Warrior 3S. We'll do a quick unboxing, but just to kind of give you some of the information on the front here, you can see that it's a maximum output of 2,300 lumens. It's got a decent throw on this, 300 meters. A little bit of information on the side as far as your warranty, and then you've got some bits on the back. Now, if I can get this here, let's see if we can. Let's tap this so we can get this in focus. Just in case you want to pause this now, so you can have a little bit look at the information, but we will be covering this now anyway. A little magnet seal to open this up, which makes it feel kind of cool, kind of nice. When you open it up, it just gives you a little bit of instructions about how to get this started. You need to make sure there's a little tab in there that you take out. Here is the Warrior. Here is the Warrior S3. Sorry, I thought I'd got the charger for a second, but I realised that I took it out of here. In here is a charger, and you also have the your instructions in there as well. So let's just put that down to the side for 1 second, and here we have the Warrior 3S. Did I say mini before? I meant S. Anyway. So I do like the fact that this comes in a sheath. It's a very nice sheath. A lot of the newer Olights tend to come out in those molded plastic ones. I think the Warrior 3S is probably due an upgrade sometime soon, but I think because this is an incredibly popular model, especially for things like security or just having this, whether it's EDC or not, the Warrior 3S has become one of their best sellers for good reason. So it makes sense that they have shorter development cycles with a light like this, because it is continuing to make them good money. But yes, nice sheath. So you have a clip on the front here, which makes it easy to open. Grommets on the front and the top to stop dust and debris from getting in. Then you have a belt pass through, or if you need to pass this through some PALS webbing, then you have that slip that you can pass it through there as well. And then there's also a D-ring here on the top should you need it. When you open this up, just to make sure that it stays in a nice condition, you have this nice felt lining on here as well, which also, it adds to it. This is a special edition. Now don't worry if you don't like this purple colour with the green bats on here. This is Olight, and there are plenty of other different variants that you can get of this, so that it's in a colour theme that you prefer. Now before we get into the actual light itself, I did mention that this does come with one of their magnetic charge cables. This is a standard magnetic charge cable. If you already have some of these from Olight, these will just work. They're all completely interchangeable, and it just clips here onto the end. You don't have to worry about aligning this. It always just makes sure that when it comes on with a bit of a magnet on the bottom, that it goes perfectly into place. But you do have to have one of these in order to charge this. But if you have plenty of these already, then you certainly don't need to worry about that. Now the battery in here, to get the battery out, you unscrew the tail cap. Unscrewing this, on the inside we have one of Olight's proprietary 21700 batteries. Now just need to make sure that I'm clear on that. If you have other 21700 batteries from other manufacturers, unfortunately they won't work inside this light. If you need to have batteries that you can hot swap between, then you'll need to pick up another 21700 battery from Olights, but I will say that they're reasonably inexpensive. But with this you get 5000 milliamp hours. And yes, it goes in, slides in. As far as the springs in here, there's a spring in the head unit. There's also a spring in the tail cap. So if this does need to be used for whatever reason, and the inertia throws this forward and backwards, you will always make sure that you get a constant stream of light. Now, I'm just going to unscrew this again, mainly because I do this with lots of lights. So when I get this on there, that's half a turn. There is actually quite a bit of play in this. There's a second turn, there's still a little bit of play, but then when you get down here to where the gasket is, that play completely goes. You start to push this on there, you get a little bit of positive feedback, and then you close it up and there's no play in there whatsoever. Now, looking through the features on the light, hopefully here on the back you'll be able to see that there is a clip. This clip does come off, which is often a pain to get off, but if you want to put it here instead, then you can put it here instead. So you can completely customize, well, I say customize, you're just changing the orientation of it. But if you want to have this so that if it sits in your pocket, it's a reasonably deep carry clip. But if you want to use it the other way, which is always good fun trying to take these off, then you can have it that way. Now, usually I do take the clips off, but with this clip here, if you make sure the clip's always on the back, it always makes it easier for you to be able to find this button here on the front, which I think is quite a nice feature. It does still work the opposite way, but because your hand tends to be a little bit further forward, I wouldn't call it a hot spot as such, but it's just nicer to have this finger so that it curls around there. Now, I've just realised that I've forgotten to give you some of the big details about this, so let's have a quick look as far as the measurements are concerned. This comes in at 139 millimeters by 29 millimeters in diameter. This is a tubular light. It does get a little bit wider here at the top, but only by maybe say a millimeter or two. Not particularly large at all. This is constructed from aerospace aluminium. It's the 6061 T6 aluminium. It's anodized with this finish on here. Because it uses this aluminium, it does mean that it's reasonably light. Is it with included? I think it is including the battery. I will triple check, but it's 176 grams. I'm pretty sure that's including the battery. They do usually give the figures including the battery. There's just a small spider that's just crawled onto the lens there. Sorry about that. I don't know where that came from. I think it came from the tree above. But yes, so that is the weight. And I'd say for this style of light, it's generally the similar type of weight that you would find with other lights that are a similar form factor to this. Not too heavy, in fact it's fine. Now, as far as the IP rating of this is concerned, with the gaskets that are all around here, they have tested this for water but not dust, so the IP rating is X8. X is for dust, which shows that they've not tested for it, but 8 is for water ingression, which is the highest that you can get for consumer electronics. On the barrel of the light here, you do have some knurling on here so that you can get a decent purchase and a grip on here. If in the winter you're wanting to use this whilst wearing gloves, it does give you a good purchase. Through the top here, you can then see into the LED module that's in there, and hopefully you'll be able to see from that angle as well that it has a TIR lens in there rather than having a specific reflector to help to project that light. Still does a reasonably good job with 300 meters worth of throw from this. It's certainly not a slouch when it comes to throwing, but that's 300 meters on its maximum on its maximum turbo settings of 2300 lumens. Around the bezel here, hopefully you can see, so this is a reinforced metal, so if you do need to use this for security or even self-defense reasons, you can use this to strike and do whatever it is that you need to do with it. Also there on the inside, you can see that little black kind of section here, so that is a depth sensor on it, so if you did turn it on to high or turbo, it would then kick down to make sure that it certainly didn't burn anything whilst in your pocket. As far as the UI is concerned on this has two UIs. There is the tail switch here, and then there is the head unit switch here. On the head unit, on the left hand side, it does have some indicators so that you can see what lumen level you're on, whether you're on Moonlight, low, medium, high or turbo. And then on the right hand side here you have 4 LEDs, whether you're at 100, 75, 50 or 25% of your battery, so you do get an indicator on there, which I do like about lights like this, and certainly some of the newer baton ones as well. They have these LEDs or these indicators around this button, which I think is it's useful to have it. For this head unit button, as far as turning it on and off is concerned, it is a simple click for on and a simple click to turn it off. If you want to get direct access through to the Moonlight mode, you can do a long press. It's not particularly light. On Moonlight it's only 1 lumen, so you can just see it on my hand there, but that gives you instant access to Moonlight. To be able to then change between each of the different lumen levels. Sorry, I keep having to scratch my face. There's lots of these little flies around. You then do a long press, and then this will take you through the different lumen levels. So from Moonlight at 1 lumen, it then goes up to low, which is 15 lumens. A long press will then get you to medium, which is 200 lumens. Another long press will take you up to high. Now hopefully you notice there, it flashed on high and then it dropped down again. That's because of the sensor that's on there. So actually let's go back around again. So low, medium, let's see if I can get this to work without that kicking in. So now we're on high. If I bring my hand closer, you'll see that it kicked back down again, just to make sure. Now on high, it's 800 lumens. At any point, you can do a double press, and that will then take you up onto, turbo. If you want to get instant access to turbo, you can do this through the tail switch here. Now the tail switch has 2 settings, so you can do a half press, which there you can see it's a lot less, and then if I do a full press, it then takes you up onto the turbo, which is your full 2300 lumens. I do like the UI on this. I think being able to get access, especially for, as I've probably mentioned a few times, things like security or self-defense, having instant access to your turbo is perfect for that, whether you need to engage fight or flight or do whatever you need to do. Let's just put it that way. But being able to use this for normal EDC, let's drop this down. Here we go. Let's drop that onto medium. Being able just to use this for normal EDC with the normal switch or the head unit switch that you have here, I think is great. These 2 switches work very, very well together. Now, let's not go down to the lake tonight. Let's have a look and see how well this throws. Let's fast forward a few hours. Let's stay in the woods and make sure that it gets nice and dark. So the sun is officially down. It's not as dark tonight. It's uncharacteristically light, but still dark enough that we can have a look at through the settings on the Warrior 3S. So as mentioned, you can do a long press from off, and this will then show you the Moonlight mode. The Moonlight mode on this is just 1 lumen. Being able to look around on the floor in front of me here, I can easily see maybe 1-2 meters ahead of me, and certainly not have any struggle if I wanted to walk through the woods and hopefully be a little bit more unnoticed. I generally tend to find when it comes to lights that I use the Moonlight or the low setting more than I use some of the others. Now if you did need a little bit more light, you can then do a long press, which will then cycle you through the normal modes. So low on this is 15 lumens. Now if I stand, let's come back here a second where we usually stand. So this tree here is maybe, well actually that tree there is about 10 meters away. So being able to see that on low at 15 lumens, not particularly difficult for me to be able to see with my own eyes. It's a little bit of a struggle to be able to see through the camera. However, I can do another long press, and this is reasonable jump because it goes from low of 15 lumens to medium, goes up to 200 lumens. Now being able to see a lot more of these lights, if I take a step across here for a second. So in between, that was a tree that we were looking at before. That tree there is probably about 20 meters away. So we can now see some of the trees off into the distance. I can actually see trees past that, but it's not coming through on the camera as well. So that was medium 200 lumens. Now I can then do another jump, which will then take me up onto high, which is 800 lumens, and I can now see a lot further through here. So those trees here in the middle, this one here is probably about 20, 25, 30. But now then looking down here, this tree, you can now just see the trees that are beside there as well. And they're easily 35, maybe 40 meters away. The warm spot on this, it does have a reasonably well-defined warm spot, as I usually do, holding this out 45 degrees to the left and back to the right and back. You can see how warm that is. Now I will say that the skirt on this isn't a particularly defined or crisp skirt. It just kind of fades away on the edge. You can't see where the light begins and ends. But again, I still think it does an excellent job at being able to throw this light. So having a look down here, hold this above my head, and you can see, so I can see trees that are down there, maybe again 35, 40 meters easily on the high mode. So they're the regular modes. So if I just bring this back around again, so if I do a long press on this again now, this will now take me back down to low, which was the 15 lumens. Again, medium, which is 200, and then up we then have high, which was the 800 lumens. If I turn this off and then use the tail switch on this, this is where we can get the full 2300 lumens on this. Now I'm going to come back this way. Hopefully this is a better angle at just how much you can see the trees. Looking up into the canopy here, certainly not being able to struggle. Now, so they're the trees that we could only just see before, and in the distance there, hopefully you'll be able to see that there are more trees behind those. Coming back here again, here looking at these trees off into the distance there, I can easily see trees that are 50, 60 meters away. I can definitely see trees that you're unable to see with just the camera here. But it does an awesome job. The light that this throws out, the candela on this is perfect to make sure that you get a really nice throw and a good warm spot on this as well. Now it's very easy to see why the Warrior 3S has become one of Olights' most popular lights. The feature set, the balance between the different switches that are on here, coupled with a lot of the things that go hand in hand with Olight, the value for money that you get with these, the build quality, all of that sort of stuff. I can 100% see why this has become such a popular light and a light that has been adopted so much by the fans. And I mentioned this a few times, but you know, kind of especially security minded, especially people that are concerned maybe about staying protected. The duality with a light like this between that kind of instant access to your turbo if you need to use it for that, coupled with, you know, having this just for a regular EDC light, yeah, it certainly makes sense why this is so popular. I've pointed out a few times with this. This is the limited edition version that is available on sale with their Halloween special. There are some other lights that are also available during as part of this sale. I'll leave some links below so that you can use some of those exclusive codes so that you can save some money. Also get a small kickback to my channel. At this point, for full disclosure, Olight did send these to me. However, I have an excellent relationship with the people at Olight. If I didn't like these lights, or if there was anything that I would change about these lights, I would certainly, or at least I'm free to express that to you guys. I'm not under any obligation to just say that these are amazing just because they sent them to me for free. If I didn't like these, you just simply wouldn't see this content and I'd return it back to them. So yeah, a huge thank you to Olights for sending this my way. I keep holding this other one. They did send me this too. I forgot to mention about this. What's this one? This is, yeah, it's one of those smaller ones. It's the IE3, so the I3E, but this is another one that has this kind of Halloween theme to it. I think you can get these as a bundle as part of the sale, but check the links below. You'll be able to see how that bundle works. So yes, a huge thank you to Olights for sending these my way. I'll leave all of those links below. I'll also leave some of my social media links so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel Moorlander Tactical. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander and stay EDC. These are those little natty flies, the ones that bite you, the little blast. Anyway, lights coming in. Let's, as always, I hope you're good. I hope you're all having a good week. I'm really not sure when this is coming out. Obviously, the sale's just gone, but I can't remember what date this is coming out. So whatever date it is, I hope you're all having a splendiferous week. And I will see you all soon. That's it. I don't think I got much wrong on this one. Shouldn't be much bloopers. Did pretty good for a change, actually. It was pretty good. Anyway, cool. I'll see you in a bit.